In this week's video, I'm going to talk about how you can unleash your creativity as a coach, as an entrepreneur. So one of the big things I hear from especially new coaches is that they don't feel like they're super creative, or they're having a really hard time when it comes to the creative part of their business. So creating social media posts, writing, creating videos, knowing what to talk about, getting out there and sharing their message in a creative way. And the thing is, being an entrepreneur, you are using your creativity a lot. It's interesting because I have my undergrad is in interior design because I always loved like creativity and art and that side of things. And I was always more drawn to the more scientific side of things too, which is why I ended up doing chiropractic and then going on and doing a bunch of training in nutrition. And the very cool thing is I've been able to bring all those things together in my business and really use the creative part that I'm super passionate about and that I enjoy, and also the more scientific, the more logical part of my brain as well, and bring that all into my business. But a lot of people have kind of lost that touch with their creativity. A lot of us remember being creative as a child and being playful, doing art projects and really enjoying that. But as we get older, a lot of us really lose our connection with that piece, in favor of being more logical. And so when it comes to starting your business, a lot of times tapping into that side can feel really challenging. And so I want to give you some steps that will allow you to reconnect with your creativity so that you can bring that into your business and start sharing that. Start being creative, like tap back into yourself, which that part of yourself, which is fun and it's enjoyable. And we're all meant to be creative beings. Our biggest creation is obviously creating our life, and having a business that you really love and is aligned is a huge part of your life and that creation that you are building for yourself. Okay. So I'm going to give you some tips that I have found most helpful when it comes to tapping back into my creativity. And I want to just say this, like when I first started my business, things that were creative felt a lot more challenging because I hadn't really been using that part of my brain as much. And things used to take me a long time. So every post I did, every video I was preparing for, took me forever. Now I can do that stuff really quickly because it's like a muscle that I have, used and strengthened. And so when it comes to like writing stuff or creating a video like this, I can really do it quite quickly. So that's awesome. And just know you have that to look forward to. And if right now you're like, oh, everything's taking so long, it won't always be like that. Okay. So the first thing, and this is really important, and one of the things that many entrepreneurs, especially in the beginning, do not give themselves, and this totally blocks their creativity. So it's giving yourself the space for creativity. And what I mean by this is you need to stop looking at everyone else and everything and looking how to do it right, and following other people on social media and following all their newsletters and all that's, listening to podcasts all the time, listening to books all the time. Like all this stuff is filling your brain with information. And I know you all love to continue learning and bettering yourself, which is amazing. But if you don't leave any space in your brain, your creativity is getting blocked because it has no space to be there. It has no space to tap into your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own creativity. So you need to stop looking at everyone else so much so that you can leave that space for your own ideas and creativities and ways of doing things to come through. Okay. And a few other things that are related to that. Stop looking at what everyone else is doing, because there is not a right way to do things, and you're not meant to say things or do things or have the same message as anyone else. A lot of us really get out there and we're like, okay, let me look and see what that person's doing, and that person and that person. And we get so caught up in I have to do it like this person. I have to sound like this person. This person sounds really good. No, you're meant to sound like you. You're meant to bring your message from your experience, from your passions. And so if I can give you one piece of advice, this is the biggest piece of advice. Stop looking at everyone else and how they're doing it. Stop getting caught up in someone else is doing it right. They're doing it better, and you do you, okay? Give yourself that space, and what you will start to find is your intuition and your creativity start speaking to you, but only when you give it that space to come through, okay? So a few other things, like I think self-care, taking really good care of yourself. For me, this really looks like, eating well, exercising, getting good sleep. Like those things are really important for me as far as being creative, because when I'm not feeling good, when I'm feeling really run down and tired and stuff, like it's a lot harder. I'm in survival mode, right? And so creativity, like you really need your needs to be taken care of to allow yourself to tap into that creativity. So do your best, we always have stuff going on in our lives, so it's not going to look perfect, but do your best to really take good care of yourself so that you can feel your best and have that space and that energy for creativity. The next piece that has really, really helped me is journaling. So I journal every single day, and journaling can look at like whatever you want it to look like. So sometimes I'm doing just like a brain dump of everything that's in my head, getting it out onto paper. Other times I like to journal about certain things. Sometimes I'm journaling around more like personal growth things and maybe, blocks or shadows I have and wanting to dive into that. Sometimes I'm journaling about my vision for myself, what I want to create, what I want it to look like. So, but just get into the habit of getting your thoughts out of your head onto paper. Really, really good and super important because it's something you're going to use all the time as a skill in your business. So the next piece is really important too. Living your life, having fun, enjoying, do the things you want to be doing. You want to be traveling, go and travel. You want to be doing art projects, go and do art projects. You want to be riding horses. This is something I've been wanting to do more and I haven't done it yet. Go and ride those horses. Now I've said it and I got to do it. Like you're being called to do things that you're passionate about, that you want to be doing. This is what allows you to live a fulfilling life, is when you go and actually do those things, and it makes you more interesting, and it sparks your creativity. So those things you want to be doing, go and do those things. Live your life, have fun. It's going to fill your bucket so that you have that creativity to give, okay? The next piece is continuing learning and transforming and working on yourself. I get a lot of my ideas from my own personal experiences, from the things I'm struggling with, from the things I'm going through, and obviously from the things that my clients are going through as well. But I'm always continuing to learn and work on myself, but I'm still giving myself that space too. Don't do this at the expense of not giving yourself the space to just be and chill and have fun. It's a balance, okay? So continue to do this, but don't do it all the time and don't do it too much. Like life is a balance, right? What were the other things I wanted to share with you? Expect there to be resistance. Expect to hit resistance. There's a book called The War of Art, and it's by Steven Pressfield. He talks about like you're going to hit resistance when you're trying to be creative. And that means like sometimes you feel like you're like going through mud, you're going through quicksand, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. It feels really challenging. It's going to feel that way. Just like I said, it's a muscle that you have to strengthen. So if you feel that resistance and you're just like, no, I'm not going to do it, you'll never get anything done. You'll never get better at it. But if you feel that resistance and you keep going and you're like, this feels hard, but I'm going to keep doing it because it's important to me, that is how you start really tapping into that creativity and getting good at it and strengthening that muscle. And the very last thing I'm going to give you is be willing to get vulnerable and allow it to be messy. Your posts, like your written posts, your videos, they're not going to be perfect in the beginning. That's okay. If I go back and I look at my videos when I started, I was like, I've come a long way since then. Like my confidence has grown. My creativity has grown. I'm just more comfortable because I've done it so much. And that's okay. But I would have never gotten to where I am now if I didn't start where I was before, which was very, very imperfect. And it's still not perfect. I don't even know what perfect means, right? Like that's all in the eye of the beholder. And there's really no such thing. So allow it to be messy, allow it to be imperfect, allow it to not be great. And that's okay. Okay. So those are the things I have for you to really tap into your creativity. Like I said, being creative is a huge part of your business. And whether you think you're creative or not, you are, we all are. And it's just a muscle you have to strengthen. Okay. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Do you have a hard time tapping into your creativity, or do you think you're someone who's quite creative and that's quite easy for you? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want more videos just like this. I do new videos each week. And if you want to dive deeper into really the steps to growing and building your business, I have a new training for you, and I will put the link right below this video. I really dive into the step-by-step process, getting your business up and running, getting paying clients. So if you're interested in that, sign up for that free training. So I want to thank you so much for joining me in this week's video, and I will see you next week.